Before doing our digitizing and creating polygon features, we need to create a feature class. To do that, go to the folders, exercise 2, and then go down to the geodatabase. And you can tell it's the geodatabase by the .gdb. And every time a particular map is created in ArcGIS Pro, automatically a file geodatabase will be created. Right-click on that, go to New, and then click Feature Class. We'll now be working with this dialog box that is created over here on the right side. We'll call this the Create Feature Class pane. For our name, put your last name, and then Buildings. Click off the Z value and leave everything as you see it here. So make sure Polygon is in the drop-down menu. Go ahead and click on Next, and now we need to create individual fields. To do that, click on the field name here, and we'll start off with house number. Note for stories, it requires a different value than a text in the data type. So just go ahead and click on the text, and it'll change to a drop-down menu, and choose float. Then you want to go to the text for each of these individual fields and change the length to 15. For float, leave it as is. And then when done, click Next. For this one, it should say NAD 1983 UTM Zone 16N. If not, go to Projected Coordinate Systems, UTM, NAD 1983, and then find 16N. Go ahead and click Next. On the remaining, just do the default. Click Next, Next, and then Finish. After about 2 minutes, the last name buildings layer was added here in the geodatabase. To add it to the map, right-click on the buildings and click Add to Current Map. And now would be a good time to go ahead and click Save. When digitizing polygons and building footprints, I like to set the transparency of the polygon I'm drawing to a certain level. And if you're someone who is using ArcMap, one of the updates to ArcGIS Pro is changing how you change the transparency for different features and geographies. And to do that, go up to Appearance, and then transition this slider bar to your desired number, or punch in what you're looking for. And we're going to do 50%. Now let's do some digitizing. Go to Edit, then Create, and you now should see last name buildings over here in the Create Features pane. Click on last name buildings, and you should see a variety of boxes pop up in a blue box. When digitizing polygons and building footprints, I like to zoom in to a nice appropriate level. So not where it's too close, but definitely where we can get enough detail where we can accurately draw some polygons. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just do this big main part of this particular structure. So make sure to click the Create Polygon tool, and you should see these crosshairs. And so all it is a left click on each of the corners. And then our final part, we'll double left click. And when a teal outline or boundary has been created, essentially a new polygon has been created. One of the things is we do have sort of two structures here. So let's say we want to create a separate polygon here to denote this part of a particular residence. So to do that, choose the Split tool, and then we'll just essentially go right along the line, and then double click, and notice now 2 polygons have been created. Now let's do what are probably porches. Go back to the Create Features pane, click on Create Polygon, and we're going to do the same for these particular polygons. We have an error. Essentially what I just did here was I double digitized. So I just created 2 overlapping lines. And so this polygon and the bigger polygon are essentially 2 different polygons in which right over here, in this particular line segment, they're overlapping. So we'll want to delete this. If we go down to the snapping settings, the XY tolerance, if we wanted to be super sensitive, where if we're anywhere within the area, let's say, we want to make that number big, maybe 100. If we want to make it super hard, and it's going to snap, but you got to be right there on it, we'll make that number lower. We'll just go ahead and keep this one as is. What we'll do is we should see as we get close to the particular edge, the polygon, we should get a blue notation saying we are snapping to this particular line segment or edge. So go ahead and we'll click on that. And you'll notice the highlight comes over here. So we're going to snap to the other side, double click. And now we've got a third polygon being created. Do the same thing for the back or the front, I don't know. And make sure we always save our edits. Go to the Save Edits button. Not so much the Save Map button, but the Save Edits button. Click Save. Choose Yes. And now I should see in my attribute table new polygons being created. And so they're all in terms of the order they were drawn. And you can see I made that one delete, which was the object ID 4, which is why that's not there. I'm going to show a few different techniques to make more perfect polygons, ones that are perfect in relationship to other lines that are already been created. So what we'll do is we'll try to make this let's just call it the perfect polygon. It's perfect. It's the main structure, let's say, of this particular house or residence, and we're going to from there now make all other lines based off of these particular edges created here. So what I'll do is I'll do the autocomplete polygon option, and we're still snapping, so our snapping is on. So I'll go ahead and I'll click to that edge. And as I go this way, I want this particular line to be perfectly straight in relationship to the other lines drawn. So what I'll do is actually, I'm going to go everything based off this particular line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over that and right click and choose the parallel option. So what that means is if I go left or right, it doesn't matter, left or right, it's keeping it parallel to this line. So I'll go ahead and I'll extend it all the way out to there. And now I want it to be perpendicular to that particular line. Do perpendicular, and now it's either only north or south. It doesn't matter where my cursor is. It's only going to go perpendicular to this particular line down here. Similarly, I'll go down here. I'll make a parallel. And we just created a new polygon. And I'll continue this on for the rest of this particular building.